Hi everybody. Sorry, I was just grabbing a bite of lunch here. This is Chapter 3, the Language of Music book. Chapter 3 is all about building chords, building triads. And it's interesting. I was thinking as I was driving back from my favorite burger place, In-N-Out Burger, how much building triads is very, very similar to building burgers. I mean, think about it. You've got your essential three elements when it comes to building triads: the root, the third, and the fifth. 1, 3, 5, which is similar when you're building burgers. You've got your meat, cheese, bun. So triads, you've got your root, third, fifth. You know what? Let's look at it on the keyboard one second. Look over here. You see how you've got your root, your third, and your fifth. We're building a triad on middle C, so we're starting on middle C, the root. Here's the third, which is E, the fifth, which is G. Now, just a quick sidebar about building triads. Here's the simple way to do it. You play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. That's how you get your 1, 3, 5. So you see what you're doing. You're playing 1, skip 2, play 3, skip 4, play 5. So it's 1, 3, 5, or root, third, fifth, or in this case, because we're starting on C, C, E, G. And that's your basic C major triad. Now let's see what that looks like on the staff. So when it comes to burgers, you got to have the root. The root is like the beef. You got to have the cheese. The cheese is like the third. And you got to have the bun. The bun is like the fifth. So you've got root, third, fifth, meat, cheese, bun, right? You get it? Now, it is important to realize that when it comes to building triads, you can build a triad on any note. We built ours on C, but you can build a triad on any note using that same structure, root, third, fifth. The other important thing to realize is that in later chapters, we're going to talk about adding thirds above the fifth. So in other words, you do root, third, fifth. You can also add sevenths and ninths. This would be kind of like adding, tomato and lettuce to your burger, right? Now, for instance, my daughter, Gabriella, she likes meat, cheese, bun. She likes her triads really, really basic. I like to add some things to my burgers, just like I like my chords to have some additional elements. But you have to realize that 90% of the modern worship songs we play, you can do with just these simple triads. You don't need to get involved chords. When you get to the sevenths and the ninths and the 11ths and the 13ths, our brains tend to hear those as sort of in the jazz music world or into the gospel music thing. But simple rock, simple pop, you can make 95% of the music we make just using these simple triads. Now when it comes to triads, there's 4 different types that you need to know. We've been talking about the major triad. The other type of triad that you need to know is the minor triad. Now between major and minor triads, those make up roughly, I would say 90% of all the pop and rock music that we play. Major triads maybe 60%, minor triads maybe 30%, 35%. And there's one simple difference between a major triad and a minor triad. It's the quality of the third. Let's look at the keyboard for a second. So here's our major triad built on C. Now to make a major triad into minor, all you do is you lower the third. Here's the major triad, here's the minor triad. So the only difference is the quality of the third. The root stayed the same and the fifth stayed the same, but the third went from a major third down to a minor third. That's the difference between major and minor. Now, thinking back to burgers, say you're going into your favorite burger place, you might go in and say, I'd like just meat, cheese, and bun, but I'd like cheddar cheese on my burger. Or maybe you want Swiss cheese on your burger. Now, it's still a burger, either way you look at it, but definitely if you have cheddar cheese, you have Swiss cheese, it's going to taste different, right? Well, you can hear just from what we played there, the major triad definitely sounds slightly different from the minor triad. In fact, let me play this example. You probably have all heard the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey. and you remember the beginning where it starts like, where it's building up, happens to be in the key of C also, and the composer goes right from a major triad to a minor triad. That's the comparison right there. That's a major triad and a minor triad side by side. Now this is actually a classical piece by Richard Strauss, and it's interesting because in the second phrase, he starts the second phrase the same as the first, and then he goes from a minor triad to a major triad. So right there, you can see all I'm doing is exactly what I talked about. I'm taking the quality of the third, and I'm shifting it from the major third to the minor third. And then from the minor third back to the major third. So that, in a nutshell, is the difference between major and minor.